Today we'll be working on integer multiplication. Remember that the definition of multiplication is that you have a bunch of groups, each with the same number of items in them, and you want to find the total number of items you have afterwards. So our problem today is 2,893 times 124. To get started, we'll do 3 times 4, which equals 12. And remember, because of carrying, that if we have 10 singles, we need to carry that and make a rod, and then whatever singles we have remaining we write in the ones place. So because 12 has one rod of 10 and 2 singles, we put the singles here and carry the rod up top. Next we do 9 times 4, which equals 36, plus 1 equals 37, 7 here, 3 above. 8 times 4 equals 32, plus 3 equals 35, carry the 3. Next we have 2 times 4 equals 8, and 8 plus 3 equals 11. Bring the 1 down, carry the next one, there's nothing below that, so then we bring the 1 down. Our next step is to work with the tens place, so we cross out the number in the singles place and put a 0 below. Now, we are multiplying by 20 now, so now we'll explain why we can put a 0 in the ones place. We can put a 0 in the singles place because we're changing the units now. So we have 2,893 times 124. In the first row that we got 11,572, we're multiplying by 1, or the number of singles. In the second row, we're multiplying by 10, or the number of rods, because the 2 here represents 20, or 2 groups of 10. So down here, I drew it out as 2,893 times 10, and I drew this as 10 groups of 2,893. So when we go ahead and count down through this column, we know that there are 10 singles. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. We can bring this group of 10 over to the rods place and make a rod. We can do the same thing with the other 2 rows of singles, because we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Make another rod. Then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Make another rod. Now, because all of these singles, because it was 3 groups of 10, have become rods, there are no singles left in the ones place. Therefore, we'd write a 0 because there's nothing left. Now in the rods place, we'd see that in this row right here, there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Each of these in pen represents 10 groups of 9. Because of that, all 9 groups of 10, move over to the flats, because a flat is 10 groups of 10 rods. So we'd move all 9 of these groups over here to make 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 flats. Because we carried the rods that the singles made up, we have 3 left. So then we'd write 3 in the rods place. Now if we continue to go over, we have 10 groups of 8 here, because there's 10 flats of the ones drawn in pen, and each of those can be moved over to make a supercube or supergroup. Because of that, we'd draw 8 supercubes over here, and then we'd have these 9 highlighted flats that would be left in that place value. So then we'd go here, and then we do the same, so that over here we'd have 8 supergroups, and then we'd have the 2 in like supercube, so that would be instead of being in the 1,000th place, it's in the 10,000th place, because there's 10 groups of them. Now, let's continue this. You guys, alright, we were multiplying by the tens place now. So, we'll go through and do 3 times 2 equals 6. 9 times 2 equals 18. Write the 8 here, carry the 1. 8 times 2 equals 16 plus 1 equals 17. Carry the 1. 2 times 2 equals 4 plus 1 equals 5. And our next step is to do the same thing. Cross out the 2 that's in the tens place and we'll put 2 zeros because now we're multiplying by this one which is in the 100th place. And in 100 there are 2 zeros. So then we'll continue and do 3 times 1 equals 3. 9 times 1 equals 9. 8 times 1 equals 8. And 2 times 1 equals 2. Now, we go ahead and add all these up because this is 2,893 times the number of singles, and then times ones, and then this is 2,893 times the tens, and there's 2 groups of tens, and then this is 100 groups of 2,893. So we add all of those up. And get our final answer is 358,732. So, in order to show that more visually, we can draw a picture. So, our first step, we're multiplying 2,893 by the ones or singles place. So we see that over here because in the singles place is a 4, and we have 4 groups of 2,893. So we have 4 groups of 2 supercubes, 8 flats, 9 rods, and 3 singles. Now if we add all 4 groups of 2,893 together, we get 11,572. And that's exactly what we have here when we did the arithmetic. Next, we have 10 groups of 2 groups of 2,893. That's because we multiplied by the 2 here, which is a 2 in the tens place, which means 20, which also is written as 2 times 10. So, each of these right here is the 2 groups of 2,893. We'd write this out 10 times, and then we'd add them all up in order to get 57,860. And that's right there. Then our last step down here is we have a 1 right here, and that's in the 100th place. So we have 100 groups of 1 group of 2,893. So just as above, we'd write out how many groups we have, and we don't have enough space, but you just imagine that this is written out 100 groups of 2,893, and you'd add them all up, or you can use the zeros rule where you, like I showed, when you multiply by 10, 100, 1,000, you'll have 10 groups of your singles, rods, etc., and you'll have to move over, and then you'll have 2 zeros left. So then we got 289,300, and that's exactly what we got here. Now our next step is to add all of these numbers up, and we get 358,732.